Sam. Homeland Security can't find the blacklist target.
So you're probably wondering where in the world is Splinter Cell and what became of the franchise, and when will we see the next new Splinter Cell game, and could it possibly be open world, and does it need to be? Well, I have some very good news for you guys thanks to some new comments from Ubisoft about one of their most successful franchises. So Yves Guillaume, CEO of Ubisoft, is quite the busy man with several Clancy games released already. Then you have the Assassin's Creed franchise, things like For Honor. And you have to remember the newly announced Beyond Good and Evil 2 is up and coming. But Splinter Cell has all but disappeared off the grid. We know we'll be getting a Splinter Cell movie eventually, which does star Tom Hardy. But in several interviews and responses, Yves Guillemot elaborated about Ubisoft's plans for the Splinter Cell franchise. So Guillemot said these comments in 2017. He said, "I can't say much about that, but for sure all the Tom Clancy games are taken care of. It's just we have quite a lot on our plate at the moment. All the Clancy games are really coming along, so we are not forgetting Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is a brand we talk a lot about. It's also personally one of my favorite series. We don't have anything specific to share at the moment, but teams are working on different things, so stay tuned for more." And then he went on to elaborate, "We are receiving lots of sketches and proposals around the brand, and we're going to pick one up. I think you will be able to see something, but you will have to wait for that." End quote. Now, apparently, he said this all with quite the smile, indicating that perhaps something special is brewing in the background for Splinter Cell. And there's a circulating rumor that it could be Michael Ironsides who would be returning to his role as Sam Fisher, which would be one hell of a way to reintroduce Splinter Cell to the masses. Besides, this is one of Ubisoft's flagship franchises, and I'm sure they want to do something special with it for sure. And honestly, I think it's very wise they are not doing annual releases of their franchises. We can already see what that has done for the Assassin's Creed franchise and what taking a break does for a game like Assassin's Creed Origins. And I've already had the chance to play that one, and I could say it is quite different from its predecessors in all of the right ways. We want something fresh, we want something new, and I think that's what we're getting. Now, I'm hoping they can carry this philosophy over to the next Splinter Cell game. We saw them try the whole black and white dynamic with Splinter Cell Conviction, which, by the way, I absolutely loved that story. And then there was Splinter Cell Blacklist, which introduced a very cool hub space where you can equip your gear and interact with key characters, and that was a lot of fun. And one game I think that was kind of a missed opportunity, and this is outside of Ubisoft's umbrella, of course, is the stealth game Alpha Protocol by Obsidian Entertainment. And then of course, this was an RPG game. It had a promising premise, an RPG mixed with stealth and military-centric storyline. And I could see Splinter Cell kind of embracing this idea of a more RPG-heavy game, befriending allies and maintaining relationships to further obtain the next best piece of intel or gear, and in turn this would help players on the field. And you know, a lot of Assassin's Creed fans were really worried about Assassin's Creed Origins embracing the RPG stuff, and it has really worked out quite well for the franchise. So I think it would be a pretty cool change for sure. What do you guys think? Of course, but you have to remember it shouldn't be too intensive into the RPG stuff. It has to be balanced. You know, stealth and gameplay options are really what made that franchise special. That has to be the core experience, of course, but how did they do it differently and how did they do it new? Well, I have a question for you guys. Would you like to see an open world Splinter Cell game? You know, I think this day and age you have to be very careful about this one because, as you know, open world games can be repetitive if done wrong. But again, back to Assassin's Creed Origins, it is going to be, in my opinion, Ubisoft's biggest example on how to proceed forward with a lot of their open world games titles. Listen to fan feedback and do something new and fresh. And that's what we're getting with AC Origin, at least in terms of the Assassin's Creed franchise. So not every game needs to be 100% open world. Besides, you know, look at Rise of the Tomb Raider. It succeeded in giving us a beautiful world that was linear and semi-open at the same time. And this is honestly where I personally think Splinter Cell could really succeed big time with a world that has, you know, more of an open and linear structure to it. It's, you know, Rise of Tomb Raider still had those Uncharted moments, if you will, and, you know, that's one thing that I noticed Splinter Cell was introducing. And I know you guys are like me, you probably loved the Splinter Cell games, you miss them, and I would love to see them back. But also, you know, they had some fun multiplayer stuff in there as well. So I'm hoping that we see something really creative with multiplayer, that it doesn't overshadow the game, of course, and it's something special for Splinter Cell, because I feel like it has potential to have some sort of staying power instead of being played for a month and then disappearing. But guys, yeah, stay tuned here for more about the next big Splinter Cell game. It is happening and it is coming, and I'm hoping that it releases alongside a very good Splinter Cell movie. That sure would be nice to have a really good movie-based game about one of our favorite Ubisoft franchises. But guys, thanks for watching. I will see you later, and apparently sometime back in the world of Splinter Cell.